Are you tired of freezing to death and having no idea why? Let's dive into Once Human's temperature mechanics. There's actually two mechanics that you need to understand. The first is ambient temperature of your surroundings. The current degrees indicates how hot or cold it is where you currently are. This is affected by the location. At the top of, say, a frozen mountain, it's generally cold. Time of day, such as nighttime, reducing temperature by -10 degrees Celsius. Getting wet, which gives you this status where you're more susceptible to cold and frost by -5 resistance, but you're better against heat with a +10 resistance. Enemy attacks like this Chaos Weaver's Frost Cannon. And even tactical items like Molotovs. The second mechanic is your character's body temperature and resistance. When you're in the chilly range, you suffer a bunch of penalties. When you're in the frost range, you will gain stacks of frozen. When you hit 4 of these stacks, you die. On top of those ranges, your character has a hidden body temperature starting at 37 degrees. As the ambient temperature goes below your resistance into the chilly or frost ranges, you will see this icon to indicate your body temperature is slowly going down. As it decreases, you will get hypothermia in 3 stages. The first is at 35 degrees Celsius. This message will pop up saying you have 30 seconds before being inflicted with the hypothermia debuff. The first stage makes you shiver and your healing effects are reduced by 50%, and it'll be healed over time if your body temperature returns to normal, which is 37 degrees. In the second stage of hypothermia, your movement speed and rolling speed are both reduced additionally. And lastly, the third stage, which will make you take damage rapidly until you black out. This is separate from being in the frost temperature range, and honestly is more likely to be the cause of you getting your blackouts. The reason many people black out from here is that they don't realize they are in stage 3 hypothermia until it's too late. The only way to survive this is to add some resistances while also heating up your body temperature rapidly with, say, a Molotov. And even that generally doesn't work. The main thing that I have found that works is if you step into an allied territory, the home protected buff that actually states that hypothermia and heat stroke will not become severe. And this basically forces it down into a stage 2 hypothermia, so you won't die from it. The only way to get out of it is to return to being in the cozy temperature range while also heating your body back up to a point where you're not hypothermic. Due to the amount of time that this takes, though, in most cases you're just going to die. So now that we understand how the two mechanics work, let's dive into some early game ways to prevent turning into a popsicle. The first that the game pretty much shoves into your face is creating thermoium. This can be made with stones, and then you can convert it into helium or coldium, depending on the items that you want to use. This will give you a temporary +10 to the resistance, and it lasts for 60 minutes. After the timer runs out, it reverts into the original thermoium stone and can be used again later. There's also some pretty easily obtained foods. You can get these spike tomatoes. They look like this. When eaten raw, they give you a +5 to your cold resistance, and when roasting them, you get a 10 cold resistance. You can find these just about anywhere on the map by hand-picking them and roasting them at your stove. As of the Way of Winter patch, you can now craft your armor with animal skins for various effects per armor slot. In this video, we're going to be using the chest and legs. You can easily boost your cold resistance by using seal or bear skin. You can see by adding the 2 pieces of armor on that my cozy range has increased. Seals can be found out on these icebergs. There's a couple different places on the map. Just don't let PETA see you clubbing them. Corrupted bears can be found in the zoo portion of the Mr. Wish amusement park, right around here. You can see them all down in here. Easy way to get bear skins. And if you want to get ahead of the curve for phase 2 when we go into the hot areas, this zoo also has alligators for heat resistance. It's just around the bear pen Just have to go over onto this side. There's this, it's kind of like it's supposed to be like a water world thing. The alligators are usually right in here, but looks like somebody's recently been here. Came back a second time just to kind of show all of them here. Some easy options that affect your ambient temperature that include things like the torch melee weapon, which increases the area by 5 degrees Celsius. You've got campfires for, 5 to 10 degrees Celsius depending on the fuel type that you use. When you use a Molotov, if you're standing somewhat nearby, it increases the temperature by 30 degrees. And if you're standing right on top of it and you catch fire, it increases it by 100 degrees. And you kind of also burn to death. So now that you know how to survive basic elements in Phase 1 of the Way of Winter's scenario, be sure to subscribe for my next video on advanced survival tips for when Phase 2 comes out. YouTube thinks that you might also like this video on the left. For more Once Human content, the full playlist is on the right.